with your retail sector now. Pick n Pay is gradually opening up its stores as the riots subside in Gauteng and KZN. Today, Pick n Pay vehicles left its Longmeadow distribution centre in Johannesburg for Durban, carrying ever-essential goods. The gradual reopening will be instrumental in ensuring that the communities worst affected by the looting will have basic necessities again. David North, Chief Strategy Officer at Pick n Pay, joins me now to talk more about this. David, many thanks for your time. So the reopening of many of your stores in KZN and the affected parts of Gauteng, how is that progressing given the week that we've had?
Good evening, Rafiwa. It's progressing well, I'm pleased to say. We reopened many of our stores yesterday, so as the difficulties began to subside, we reopened many of our stores. We reopened even more today, and it will be even more tomorrow. Retailers are very practical people, and we hate letting customers down, and therefore our priority really is to get as many stores as we can open in the affected areas.
Right, and how much of the recovery is dependent on the N3 highway's flow as well as safety?
Well, as we know, KwaZulu-Natal has been by far the most badly hit areas. To people in the province is to use the N3 highway. That's why it's so important. We were very pleased to hear earlier this afternoon that it has reopened. We recognise it might be a bit slower than usual, but rest assured, if it's humanly possible for us to get there, we will get there.
Right, now we're going to play the footage of the trucks leaving that Longmeadow distribution centre. Talk us through where exactly they're going, what's in them, and how will they likely help to replenish the stocks in the affected areas?
Well, they're heading to our stores across KwaZulu-Natal. Across the province, we have a very good number of Pick n Pay and indeed Boxer stores. And one of the features that we've seen of the violence earlier in the week was that the damage was very widespread, whether we're looking at areas within Durban, areas like Umhlanga, further out to Pietermaritzburg, Ulundi, as far as Richards Bay, even further. So we're going to replenish our stores wherever we can, and our priority is to get product into those shops. Now, that is going to take time because deliveries have been disrupted this week in so many areas. So we're asking customers to bear with us. Now, in terms of the products that are in those trucks, what we're transporting is really everything that customers need. So it will include fresh meat, fruit and vegetables, but our experience in situations like this is that people really want the things that they can be sure they can use to help feed their families. So things like bread, rice, meal, beans, tin products, milk, and then essentials like soap, tea, coffee, and that sort of thing. So that's what we're prioritising, and then we'll get back to a full service just as quickly as we can.
Right. Pick n Pay has also been involved in the relief efforts Feed the Nation program. Just talk us through Pick n Pay's contribution in this regard.
We launched Feed the Nation actually over a year ago now at the start of the COVID pandemic, and it was a simple but powerful idea, which is how can we help to fund, with our partners and with the help of millions of customers, help to fund, produce and then distribute hampers for communities and families in particular need as a result of the economic hardship that followed the COVID pandemic. And so far we've distributed 160,000 hampers over the past year or so, 31 million meals distributed so far. And what we decided very quickly this week was that the immediate priority was to help those families and communities who've been affected by the violence that we've seen this week. And that's what we're putting all our effort into at the moment. And while I've got the opportunities, customers can help us. They are helping us. They can help to donate to Feed the Nation at the till in our stores or indeed online at feedthenation.org.za.
Right, and then finally, David, one of the big talking points that's come as a result of this is the bottles application being affected during the past few days. When are you likely to see things getting back to normal when it comes to delivery and just the other mitigation elements that you've just put in place to make sure that customers are getting the best service that they can under the current circumstances?
Well, we're working just as hard as we can and as quickly as we can. I mean, obviously, the safety of customers and our staff is the first priority, but we're working as fast as we can to get a normal service resumed. And what we've been saying to everybody today is trust us to get on with the job, and we will do whatever we can. Now, in terms of bottles is our online on-demand offer for customers. It's been disrupted in the areas that have seen violence and disorder this week. It's a great service. It's delivery to your home within an hour of ordering. This week, in the affected areas, our priority has been to make sure, and it is at the moment, make sure that our stores are stocked with the food and groceries that people need. So in those areas, what we're saying to customers is bear with us if bottles isn't operating in your area in the short term. And in fact, this weekend, we were actually planning to relaunch bottles under a new title. Very exciting. We were going to relaunch it as ASAP, with an improved service, even more exciting, even more reliable. And actually, given the situation, we put that on hold as we focus on that immediate priority of making sure that we're serving customers all the way around the country.
David North, a Chief Strategy Officer at Pick n Pay, many thanks for that update in terms of what Pick n Pay is doing to contribute to relief efforts in affected areas.